Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallava Givaradhari Gopi Jana Vallava Givaradhari Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Jai Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jai Gurudev Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privajikacharya Astu Terasita Srimad, Divine Grace, ISKCON Founder Charya Guru Sri Bhakti Dhir Damodar Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Astuta Sita Srimad, Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Guru Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shyam Radha Kunda Giri Garavardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Ki Jai. Mathuradham Ki Jai. Navadvip Mayapudam Ki Jai. Jagannatha Puridam Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganges Mai Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gauda Premanande. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious Shishiguru Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Hare Krishna Prasaya Bhuta Dashamati Bhakti Chirita Shanta Namaste Krishna Varashachan Shri Gaura Katana Shakti Bhakti Chirita Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatu Jayam Mudirayet Nashta Prayesa Vadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sivaya Bhagavati Uttamasluki Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakayan Chakshululmitam Jena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yutapadakam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kantana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visavana Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Panchakalpataru Vyascha Kripa Sundhyayevacha Patitanam Pavunevyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 16. The Lord's opulence, text number 44. Tashmad Vacho Manaha Pranan Niyachin Mad Parayana Mad Bhakti Yuktaya Buddhya Tataha Parisamapyate Tashmad Vacho Mana Pranan Iyachin Man Parayana Mad Bhakti Yuktaya Buddhya Tata Parisamapyate Tashmad Vacho Mana Pranan Niyachin Mat Parayana Mad Bhakti Yuktaya Buddhya Tata Parisamapyate Tashmad Vacho Mana Pranan Niyachin Mat Parayana Mad Bhakti Yuktaya Buddhya Tata Parisamapyate Tashmat. Therefore, Vacha, words, Monaha, the mind, Pranan, the life airs, Niyachet, one should control. Madhparayana, who is devoted to me, Mat, unto me, Bhakti, with devotion, Yuktaya, endowed, Buddhya, by such intelligence, Tata, thus, Parisamapyate, one fulfills the mission of life. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada disciples. Being surrendered to me, one should control the speech, mind, and life air. And then through loving devotional intelligence, one will completely fulfill the mission of life. Please repeat. Being surrendered to me, one should control the speech, mind, and life air. And then, through loving devotional intelligence, one will completely fulfill the mission of life. Purport. One can develop loving devotional intelligence by perfectly chanting the Brahma Gayatri mantra awarded at the moment of Brahma initiation. By clear intelligence, one becomes naturally and spontaneously disinterested in the rewards offered by mental speculation and fruitive activities, and takes full shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the end of the purport of text 44 of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 11, count 11, chapter 16, entitled The Lord's Opulence. Text 43 says, a transcendentalist who does not completely control his words and mind by superior intelligence will find that his spiritual vows, austerities, and charity flow away just as water flows out of an unbaked clay pot. That is the advice from those who are very experienced in spiritual activities. And here it is said, Tasmat, therefore. This is a conclusion to the advice which is given, that Parishama Pyate. The mission of life is fulfilled by Matpara, Bhakta, a devotee who is engaged in devotional service, devotional life to Krishna. One who is engaged in Krishna consciousness has a responsibility to become successful in our practice. To become successful in our practice, we have some duty, some responsibility. What is that? We should control our speech. We should learn how to speak. One can perfectly learn how to speak if we know how to use the mind. When you look at the scripture very carefully, there are processes for controlling the senses and also processes of controlling the mind. Sometimes they are separated, but sometimes they are together. It is good to separate themselves, cannot the two. If the senses are controlled, the job is not complete. Just like one who is practicing renunciation is not complete without detachment. For one who is practicing detachment is superior to one who is learning how to renounce. Because renunciation, we are trying to give us material sense gratification, which sometimes, and most of the times, the mind is still thinking about it. So in history, we have seen so many great personalities who are practicing renunciation. They have already given up the desire to gratify their senses. They have given up everything and have gone to the forest. Still in the forest, they have difficulties. Why? The renunciation in itself is not complete without detachment. But those who practice detachment, they are successful. So renunciation and detachment, they are different things. They are different, complete opposite components. What is detachment? One who is practicing detachment knows scientifically that I am giving up something for something which is superior to what I'm practicing. Something superior. Therefore, he put more effort by the work of intelligence. Intelligence. What is that? I'm expecting something superior. When we are expecting something superior, we put effort into the practice. So people put a lot of effort into difficult things because the reward, the expectation is very high. But renunciation itself, it does not afford that intelligence, that understanding. I'm looking for something superior, therefore I should try to give up this. Whatever it takes for me to get to the destination, I should put a lot of effort to get it. This is detachment. So practicing detachment is superior. So if you control the senses and the mind is not yet controlled, we have not gone far. If the mind is controlled, the senses are automatically controlled. Therefore, those who are intelligent should work on the mind. Whatever we speak is coming from what is being meditated upon in the mind. Any activity the senses are engaged in, they are being carried out by the dictation and proper management of the mind. If the mind is fully accepted that this is very good for you, even though the intelligence is superior to the mind, but the mind has the power to influence intelligence. So controlling the mind is superior to controlling the senses. Because of all the senses, the mind is the master. It is the playground where all the senses demonstrate the activities. So the mind control is important. To control the speech, which is recommended, the mind must be controlled. And to control the mind, it's not easy. Here it is recommended that to develop our devotional intelligence, to be able to control other senses, we have to chant the Brahma Gayatri mantra, which was given at the time of initiation. But this is for those who have taken second initiation. What about those who have not taken second initiation? They have no process for controlling the senses, to control the mind. No process. Krishna consciousness is not limited to Brahmanas. It is opportunity given to all living entities, even those who have even taken initiation, even the first initiation, before you talk of the second. We are all qualified to practice Krishna consciousness. That is what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said. Because we are all part and parcel of Krishna as living entities, it is devotional service to Krishna is our birthright. We have right to practice Krishna consciousness. Therefore, even before becoming a Brahmana, to control the mind, to control the senses by chanting Gayatri mantra, Sutta Goswami clearly mentioned in the first canto of Bhagavatam that Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. Devotional service rendered to Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has the great power. There is a potency in practicing Krishna consciousness, which begins from chanting the holy name and hearing. Anyone can do that. Devotional service begins from chanting and hearing and physically do something. The devotional service. With the mind, with the clear understanding that these activities are for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is for the pleasure of Krishna. It is not all activities which are devotional. Devotional activities which are performed by devotees and they are consciously offered to Krishna for his pleasure, that is devotional service. It is different from any other service. Which also means that even within devotional environment, it is not all activity performed that they are for Krishna. Some are not for Krishna. But those activities which are performed for the pleasure of Lord Krishna, they are very powerful. And then Sutta Goswami said, by this process, one develops automatic, spontaneous intelligence, knowledge, and automatic detachment. He didn't use renunciation. In this sloka, Sutta Goswami didn't use renunciation, he used detachment. The symptom of one who has intelligence means that he's detached automatically. He's detached. That this person is knowledgeable, this person is very intelligent. He does not have to speak. If you look at the activity of the person, you can understand, yes, this person is very, very knowledgeable, very intelligent. Not because of what he speaks, but how one is detached from all arrangement for sense gratification, and how one is attached to Krishna. That is the symptom, the sign of one who is detached or who has knowledge, who is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness. Because bhakti has a process. Bhakti is a science. And it is the same 11th canto. The same 11th canto. Here, chapter 16. In chapter 4, text 42. Kavi Yojendra. Kavi Yojendra said, devotional service, this process, this bhakti, is not just a theoretical thing. It's something we can practically experience. We can feel it. Just like a person who is engaged in eating, he have three practical experiences. Not that someone tells you to, oh Prabhu, you have eaten to a fish satisfaction, now you can stop. No, you yourself, you know, I have eaten and my belly is full. I should stop here. That is bhakti, not just theoretical alone. For one who is engaged in eating, every bite, every spoonful of food we take, hunger diminishes automatically. Nourishment comes and satisfaction. Similarly, for a devotee who is engaged in devotional service, who is practicing Krishna consciousness, 3 experiences are there. Automatic detachment from all material things. Direct experience, direct perception of Sri Radha Gopinath. Directly, one can, not just story. Direct communication, direct experience. It's Radha Gopinath. I want to have direct experience. Direct communication. Direct communication is that. This reciprocation. Because Radha Gopinath is a person. It's a person. It's a transcendental supreme person. It's not marble. Marble will not speak, but the personality of God will speak. So for those who are serving him, there's a natural communication between the servant and the master. The master reciprocates what the dealings of the service the servant offers. So the Supreme Personality of God reciprocates with the loving devotion the devotee render. Direct experience, direct communication. That is an encouragement for a servant to understand. My master is a person, and he is showing me how to please him. How to please him by the service which I do. As for those devotees who are doing bhakti, direct experience, direct communication, natural detachment from all material things. If one is getting detached from material things, one will be naturally attached to spiritual things, to devotional things. Because of the reciprocation, the attachment, the joy which comes from doing devotional service, from serving Krishna. So we are advised here to control how we speak. To control how we speak, the mind has to be controlled. With the help of intelligence, all the senses will be controlled. If all the senses are controlled, automatically our existence, our spiritual existence, our entity, our personality as a spirit soul, prana, our life, our existence will show to the whole world, not just ourselves, it will show to the whole world. People will perceive that this person is living a healthy life. This person is enjoying the life. Either as a materialist or as a devotee, it will show this person is enjoying his or her Krishna consciousness. When you look at the personality, it shows. Because at that point, a devotee is beneficial for all living entities. It's beneficial. It's not destructive, but it's beneficial. The whole world will appreciate, will benefit from a magnanimous soul who is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness. Yuktaya is engaged. What in Krishna consciousness, here it is translated endowed. One who is engaged in Krishna consciousness, engagement in Krishna consciousness brings empowerment. What is that? That we are decorated with all wonderful ornaments. What is that? our success in Krishna consciousness will be experienced by the whole world, the all living entities. That is the lesson from this text as far as my intelligence can go. Hare Krishna. Comment or question? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for a nice class. You are speaking about intelligence has to be completely in control. More than the intelligence, if the mind is controlled but the intelligence is not controlled, it has no value. This is what I could understand a little bit from your class. You mention it, that the intelligence, to control intelligence is more important than anything else. Because then only you can be blissful in devotional life. And to control the intelligence, then you have to take a shelter of hearing and chanting of the holy name. But Maharaj, supposing a person has come into Krishna consciousness, he is doing chanting, he is doing hearing, he is even associating with the devotees also. What is the test a devotee has to go on checking it, that his intelligence has been completely sharp? Because what is happening it is that you get succumbed to some conditioning in your life, and that conditioning is so strong for so many births, to even if you are intelligently convinced also that okay, I don't have to do this thing because it is becoming a disturbance in my Krishna consciousness, but because the conditioning is so deeply rooted that it doesn't go in such a short span of time. So how can we convince ourselves this intelligence is becoming sharper? Of course, it has not been completely, the conditioning has not been completely uprooted, but it is becoming sharper. That because I don't think so, Maharaj, my little bit experience says is those conditioning cannot be uprooted within such a short span of time. So what a devotee has to do to it, that intelligence becomes more and more as and when he spends more and more in devotional life, the intelligence becomes sharper and sharper and sharper, and then one day those conditioning is completely uprooted, because that devotee has to get that conviction that the process is working. Because sometimes what happens is he's doing his devotional life, and sometimes that conditioning becomes so much strong, it is becoming so strong that you find it very difficult to overcome it out. And when you cannot overcome it out, you feel it, I am not doing anything in devotional life, I have got succumbed to my conditioning, I am completely out. Is it my spiritual life is working, or I am completely on a mad way, or I am just in a dream, the thing is working, or I am in a completely wrong track? How to get that conviction that this intelligence is becoming stronger by taking shelter of hearing and chanting?
Thank you. Asking question from practical experience is most important. Intelligence. We're not talking about material intelligence, because we can have intelligence to understand how to present the philosophy nicely. Still, we are not yet secured. When one realizes that I cannot overcome this just for one time because of the heavy karma of my previous birth. The secret to become successful, to transcend, so cry. So cry for mercy. If you don't cry, you won't succeed. That cry will show Lord Krishna that we are serious And we have come to realize that on our strength, it is not possible. We need the mercy. That will touch the heart. And Krishna will come in and make it easy for us to cross over. Have to cry. And that cry, it is not the normal cry that women do easily. This is coming from the heart out of helplessness. When the heart is soft, one cries to Krishna, please, I have come to this point to realize that I cannot make it, and we cannot make it on our strength. I need mercy. Then the strength will be given to us. If it is possible for us to get Krishna by our intelligence, by our scholarship, then we don't need Krishna to become Krishna conscious. But because it's not possible, by our intelligence, by our strength, we have to beg for it. Srila Bhakti Dhir didn't say, I chant the holy name. He said, I begged for the name. I begged for the name, and I received the name. We have to beg. We have to cry. That is the process.
Maharaj, I have one more doubt. Is that sometimes we know it, the process we know it, that the only way is you to go in front of Krishna, become completely helpless and hopeless, and tell Krishna that I am helpless and hopeless and I cannot do anything by my own endeavor. The only way is I need your causeless mercy. But the crux, the problem that comes up is when that conditioning has become so much strong in our consciousness, and because of that conditioning which has been from so many words, that conditioning has been so strong. When you are getting succumbed to that conditioning, at that time the heart has become very hard-hearted. At that time, even if you know the philosophy, at that time the consciousness doesn't become so completely helpless and hopeless. We know it, yet we cannot cry out to Krishna because of a very deep-rooted conditioning. So in that situation, when the conditioning has been so deep-rooted, and because of that the heart has become very hard, at that time what to do?
The heart is very hard and doesn't respond to anything, right? So what to do? You should pray to Krishna. You should pray. There's no other process than to cry to Krishna, to pray to Krishna, to beg for it. And if one is so conditioned that we cannot pray, we cannot cry, our intelligence is gone, we don't know what to do. That state means that we ourselves are not sincere. To come to the point, at that point means we are not sincere. For any person to come to Krishna consciousness, Krishna has given some mercy to come here, with some intelligence. By constantly hearing, we will know what to do. But if we are practicing and we have come to this level, everything is zero, we don't know how to pray, don't know how to cry, everything has become a failure. There's no hope. There is no point at the time that the devotee will come to that point, practicing Krishna consciousness, and there is no hope. There is always a hope in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is full of transcendental hope. So there is nothing like, I am so useless, so hopeless that there's no chance for me. There is always a chance for a devotee. The Krishna helps. And Prabhupada mentioned in 2 purports, text 10 and text 11, Bhagavatam, chapter 10. A devotee may have a bona fide spiritual master. A devotee may have a bona fide spiritual path. But if such a devotee is so foolish, so unintelligent, cannot understand, if he is sincere, Krishna will come in from the heart. And if he is engaged, 2 things are required. If he is sincere and is engaged in devotional service, Prabhupada said Krishna will come in and help that devotee, that eventually that devotee will get Krishna. If there is sincerity and there is engagement in Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada said there is a hope. You will get the message of Krishna. You cannot even understand what the Guru is speaking. You cannot even understand the wonderful arrangement his spiritual organization has offered. If one is sincere and engaged in devotional service, Krishna will come in inside and start doing his job until eventually that devotee is delivered. This is Bhagavatam, chapter 10, text 10 and 11 purport. So there is a hope for a devotee. There is nothing like I'm completely out of place and nothing is left for me again. That does not exist for a devotee. Even for non-devotee, they are being delivered. So what about the devotee who have been sincerely engaged in Christian consciousness? There is always a hope. Why the door open for that devotee's liberation? Hare Krishna. Yes, Machaji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, to control our speech, as aspiring devotees, we need to chant more, we need to hear more, we need to be engaged in devotional service as far as possible, 24 hours, and even we need to control our food diet, right? We must eat less, and sweets also we must eat less, no? Or avoid.
Yes.
Yes. And what else, Maharaj?
Study the scripture. Yes, you read every day. Read every day. So hear every day. As we will hear every day, we should read ourselves every day. If you read and hear, we will understand why we should control our speech. Why we should control the senses, why we should control the mind. Because our words, the words that we speak, can be a stone and can be a lotus flower. But according to what is inside, what is in the mind, we can stone people. But everybody knows that nobody feels happy being stoned. Therefore, I should not stone people, because if I'm stoned, I will not feel happy about it. It's not palatable. I should offer lotus flower, because if lotus flower is offered to me, it's pleasurable, it's blissful and sweet. So we will know this thing from hearing and studying the scripture. Then our activity will change. And that is the process of devotional service.
Also, Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada said that, For a Mataji, she should be always staying with her parents or with her husband or with her son. So otherwise she'll be exploited. So in my case, I'm living with Jagannath and Prabhupada, but just physically I'm alone. And outside people, when they come to our mandir, like people to do the work, and plumbers and carpenters, and everyone wants to take advantage and exploit, and and then as like an aspiring devotee, we offer prasad, kheer, milk, and serve them. But they always try to take advantage, and then sometimes because I'm alone and helpless, and then I just tend to speak the way my Guru Maharaj wouldn't like me to speak, and it really hurts me. And this happens like most of the times, even when you're traveling.
We cannot stop people from what they think, what they throw on you every day.
I beg your pardon?
You can't stop people from throwing what they have in their mind towards you. You don't have power to stop the people from thinking about you negatively or positively.
No, they try to take advantage,
yes.
Money-wise, and they see that she's a nice person.
You cannot stop them from doing that, but you can stop yourself from accepting what they offer you.
I can't understand what you said.
You can't stop people from what they think about you, how they feel about you. You cannot stop people from doing that. You can stop yourself from accepting what people offer to you. You understand? And people will think what they have in their mind towards you. This way, that way. You should be spiritually strong that you will shut the door, not your physical door. You have a spiritual door, psychological space. We can maintain a psychological space by the strength of your practice, your devotion. That you can do. So that whatever is offered to you will not affect you. You will continue with your bhakti. Because we have to do what we have to do rightly. You get it? Do you understand? Do you understand me? Practice your Krishna consciousness in such a way that people's negativity towards you does not affect you. We should create a demarcation by the quality of our sadhana and understanding the scripture by hearing. Then everything else will not affect you. Right?
Thank you, Maharaj.
You cannot go to the street and close your eye. I don't want to see Maya. You'll be knocked down. You won't get to your destination. But if the eye is trained, with the help of the scripture to understand, you can enter and go direct to your destination because you have to see where you are going. That strength we need from practicing Krishna consciousness. And by the way, we should know. How do I know that I'm making advancement in my practice? How do I know? By the temptations you're going to face from people. A student who is in a school and there is no exam, what will happen to that student? No exam. Suppose you go to a school and there is no examination. How will you check your performance? And a teacher who does not set exam for the student, what kind of a teacher is that? And I love all my students. They are all very good. So there's no exam for them. He's not a good teacher. So Bhakti Dhir Saraswati Thakur, the Prabhupada said, a flatterer cannot be a guru. A flatterer cannot be a teacher. A flatterer cannot be a responsible person. Can't be. So our practice should be tested, and Krishna will make that arrangement by the reactions we get from wherever we are, either within devotional environment or within outside. There will be challenge, and that challenge is very, very good to show what we have been practicing. It will be tested. Everything we are doing will be tested.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.